Xiaoyan's chaos. Great Monarch Flame is on the verge of destruction against the terrifying 3000 lightning. Monarch Flame until Xiao suddenly intervenes, triggering a shocking comeback and complete reversal. The moment the curtain of fire was formed, countless thunder rumbled along with a frightening sound of rushing wind. They struck the curtain of fire fiercely with an extremely overbearing force. The curtain of fire immediately began to churn. The scarlet flames on it roared crazily like giant waves, instantly burning the thunder and lightning. The fire lotus underneath the fire curtain also burst out with a dazzling fiery light. Endless flames surged out from within, replenishing the energy that the fire curtain had lost from blocking the lightning bolts. At this moment, Xiaoyan was fully focused on controlling the boundless origin chains that came from the origin chains, constantly supplying energy to the chaos Great Monarch Flame. With the help of Xiaoyan and the fire lotus, the fire curtain that was on the verge of collapsing once again emitted a new vitality. The flames condensed into numerous red lotus flowers. As the lotus flowers spun, countless lightning bolts dissipated in an instant. At the same time, a trace of the golden flame was swallowed by the lotus flowers. As more and more fire lotus flowers formed on the fire curtain, the damage caused by the countless lightning bolts on the fire curtain was gradually reduced. At most, it caused a few ripples to appear on the fire curtain. Although there was only a thin layer left on the fire curtain, the fire lotus underneath it did not suffer any damage. Xiaoyan softly sighed when he saw that the wild attack of the golden lightning dragon was successfully blocked by the fire curtain, after which he felt a little worried. Just now, he had used up another origin chains in order to block the lightning bolts that filled the sky. Now there was only one origin chains left. He did not know how he should deal with the subsequent attack. The lightning in the sky gradually reduced when the chaotic thoughts surfaced in Xiaoyan's heart. Occasionally, only one or two lightning would attack the fire curtain without any strength. They would be incinerated into nothingness by the intense high temperature before they could even approach it. They would no longer possess the might they had earlier. Rumble. Another wave of thunder rumbled. After that, dozens of bolts of lightning that were only as thick as an arm whistled down and struck the fire curtain once again. Xiaoyan only took a glance before he retracted his gaze. This kind of powerful lightning, it couldn't cause any harm to the Xiaoyi. He thought to himself. Xiaoyan turned his gaze to the silent lightning dragon in the distance. At this moment, the lightning dragon was quietly swimming among the clouds. On its huge body, the golden flame that was originally pleasing to the eye seemed to have dimmed considerably. Looking at the tiny lightning dancing on the lightning dragon's body, an indescribable uneasiness suddenly surged up in Xiaoyan's heart. His gaze inadvertently swept across the dozens of lightning bolts that were about to strike the fire curtain. Xiaoyan's pupils abruptly shrunk to the size of pinholes, and a wave of shock and anger instantly surged onto his face. Dozens of lightning bolts silently struck down. In the void that they streaked across, numerous tiny spatial cracks that were difficult to detect with the naked eye silently appeared. Sensing the power of this wave of lightning, Xiaoyan's face couldn't help but tremble. Even the fire curtain at its peak might not be able to withstand this kind of energy that could shatter the space, let alone the thin layer of fire curtain after a series of attacks. Dozens of lightning bolts streaked across the sky like shooting stars. The fire lotus flower on top of the fire curtain seemed to have sensed the powerful force it kept roaring and rolling. The chaos, Great Monarch Flame under the fire curtain had long been locked by the powerful lightning. It was as if it was trapped in an invisible cage, unable to move at all. If it was struck by this attack, it was afraid that the latter would at least be seriously injured. Xiaoyan could only watch helplessly as the dozens of lightning bolts struck towards the fire curtain. He suddenly looked at the fire lotus that was struggling beneath it, and a glimmer of light suddenly flashed in his eyes. In almost an instant, an aura of force reverberated within the barrier. As soon as the ocean-like ferocious aura appeared, the lightning dragon in the distance couldn't help but twist its dragon body a few times. Its entire body emitted brilliant golden flames to resist the invasion of the force. However, Xiaoyan's goal was not to suppress the lightning dragon. He wanted to intimidate the latter a little. A large amount of force turned into a sharp beam that pierced through the sky like a tide. In an instant, it arrived around the fire lotus. In the next moment, the force was like an ancient saber that shook slightly. The fire lotus that was restrained by the aura of thunder and lightning immediately broke free from the invisible cage. And then, the fire lotus rushed out like a bright red meteor. Almost at the same time that the fire lotus moved, several golden lightning bolts fiercely struck the fire curtain. They only lasted for an instant. The fire curtain that had consumed nearly 3 of Xiaoyan's origin chains shattered in an uproar, turning into a rain of fire that rained down from the sky. The movement of the fire lotus was still a little slow. Even though it managed to dodge most of the golden lightning, it was still struck by the 2 thumb-sized lightning bolts. Instantly, the lotus body trembled and the fire was reduced by more than half. It left the area unsteadily. The lightning struck down like the thunder god's fury. It hit a 10,000 feet large lava lake below. In an instant, with a deafening explosion, not a single drop of lava was left in the lava lake. Even the lake was blasted into a bottomless pit. Although he had only been struck by 2 bolts of golden lightning, the fire lotus had suffered a great deal of damage. The golden lightning was the natal lightning of the lightning dragon. It was an attack that could destroy a portion of the origin energy. Its power was beyond imagination. Xiaoyan's heart sank when he saw the fire of the fire lotus quickly dimming. The Chaos Great Monarch Flame was in a disadvantageous position to begin with. Now that it had suffered such a serious injury, it was afraid that it could no longer pose any threat to the lightning dragon. As if to verify Xiaoyan's thoughts, the lightning dragon in the distance let out several excited dragon roars. The lightning and fire on the dragon's body soared into the sky, dispersing the dark clouds in the sky. After that, with a light swing of the dragon's body, it appeared not far away from the fire lotus. Numerous powerful golden flames were mixed with golden lightning. It rushed towards the fire lotus in front of him. Xiaoyan couldn't help but be shocked when he sensed this fierce attack. The remaining origin monarch qis in his body were crazily injected into the fire lotus, trying to block this fierce attack. However, there was only 1 origin chains left. The origin monarch qis provided were just a drop of water in a cart of firewood. Sensing this, Xiaoyan's entire body trembled. With his current weak strength, he was still unable to control his force agilely. Therefore, the current him. He had no choice but to watch the tragic scene in front of him. In the golden sea of fire, angry thunder rumbled, roaring as it charged towards the tiny fire lotus in front of him. The fire lotus seemed to have used up all its strength as the flower bud slowly bloomed. A huge fire lotus rapidly condensed behind its back. The fire patterns of the lotus were rippling. It was as if it had been accumulated without being contaminated, and it had a pure and holy luster. The moment the fire lotus was formed, the fire lotus immediately dimmed considerably. The lotus leaves turned into a rain of fire and vanished. Only the heart of the lotus stood there stubbornly and miserably. Xiaoyan clenched his fists tightly. He wasn't excited by the appearance of the fire lotus. As the last strike of the Chaos Great Monarch Flame, he could clearly feel that the fire lotus was still as vulnerable as before in front of the golden sea of fire. Not far away, the joy that the golden lightning dragon couldn't hide clearly proved Xiaoyan's thoughts. Xiaoyan's face was somewhat pale as he watched the fire lotus fly towards the golden sea of fire like a ray of light. He smiled bitterly. He had underestimated the strength of the 3,000 lightning monarch flames. He didn't expect that the one ranked higher than the Chaos Great Monarch Flame would be the former. He actually had such a powerful strength. Roar! Just as the fire lotus flower and the golden sea of flames collided, a dragon's roar that shook the sky suddenly sounded. In the next moment, a black shadow rushed into the sky like a bolt of lightning, turning into a stream of light and entering the fire lotus. The fire lotus trembled slightly as if it had been reborn. The flame soared into the sky, and in just an instant it had escaped far away from this place. Swish! The instant the fire lotus escaped the fiery lotus, and the golden sea of fire collided fiercely. The collision between the two didn't sound as expected, and it only lasted for an instant before the fiery lotus quietly vanished, leaving no trace behind. However, the golden sea of fire didn't seem to be affected by any hindrance, and continued to bombard the fire lotus in the distance with great power. Xiao. When Xiaoyan finally reacted, the fire lotus disappeared without a trace. Xiaoyan was overjoyed when he saw that the fire lotus was not only intact, but its strength had also increased by a large margin. The fire lotus buzzed slightly as if it was responding to Xiaoyan. Then it faced the golden sea of fire that was sweeping towards it. The lotus leaves of the fire lotus spread out in all directions. Crimson flames that blotted out the sky and covered the earth surged out from the center of the lotus, condensing into a fire dragon that was thousands of feet in size. The fire dragon was lifelike, and its dragon scales were overflowing with flames. Its power was not any weaker than the golden lightning dragon. The fire dragon's cold and ruthless dragon eyes looked at the golden sea of fire, and it roared furiously towards the sky. Then its dragon body twisted, and it rushed towards the golden sea of fire without hesitation. Its 10,000-feet-long dragon body seemed to have pierced through the void, and the red flames scattered in all directions, shattering the space in front of it. The fire dragon was like a 10,000-feet sharp beam. It penetrated the golden sea of fire in an instant. In an instant, the golden flame filled the sky. The red flames on the fire dragon's body soared into the sky and swept away all the golden flames. It didn't slow down at all as it rushed towards the golden lightning dragon. After being shattered by the fire dragon's attack, the golden lightning dragon seemed to have suffered a heavy blow. Its dragon body shook, and the fire of the golden flames surrounding its body was greatly reduced. It was obvious that it had suffered a great injury. Seeing the fire dragon approach, the lightning dragon furiously roared. Surging lightning appeared out of nowhere and violently struck the former. The fire dragon also let out a low cry. Raging flames soared into the sky as the dragon's body swam. It transformed into exquisite fire lotus flowers that received all the lightning. As the lightning and fire lotus flowers were destroyed, the thunder dragon and fire dragon let out heaven-shaking dragon roars. The dragon's body moved. In the next moment, the two 10,000-feet-long dragons collided violently. In an instant, the earth shook and countless volcanoes collapsed. A world of lava suddenly collapsed, and the sky collapsed. In the distance, Xiaoyan was looking at the flesh of the two enormous dragons. This shocking visual impact caused him to take a long time to regain his senses. The uneasiness in his heart was finally swept away. He looked at the fire lotus in the distance. Waves of dazzling light kept flashing across the latter's body. Xiaoyan could vaguely feel that the atmosphere between the heavens and the earth had become more and more solemn. The Chaos Great Monarch Flame seemed to be preparing some kind of trump card. Gulp. Xiaoyan's throat couldn't help but twitch. The combination of Xiao Yi's and Xiao Ao's was even stronger than the 3,000 lightning monarch flames. This made him pleasantly surprised. Boom, boom, bangi! The endless golden sea of fire and the red cloud of fire clashed together. The huge explosion caused the space where the two dragons were to tremble. Black spatial cracks also quietly spread under the fierce attack. The golden lightning dragon and the crimson fire dragon tore at each other, and the golden flames and crimson flames that coiled around their bodies crazily devoured each other. Soon the two dragons were injured to varying degrees. However, the golden lightning dragon was the fire spirit of the 3,000 lightning monarch flames, while the red fire dragon was just an illusion. It only lasted for a moment. Under the furious attack of the golden lightning dragon, the latter let out a wail. Its huge body fell down with a loud bang. After crushing the countless mountains below, the fire on the dragon's body shot out in all directions, turning into flames that filled the sky and slowly dissipated. After the fire dragon was killed, the golden lightning dragon did not show any joy. It looked at the fire lotus in the distance, which had suddenly retracted its fire. A human-like solemnity flashed across its lantern-sized dragon eyes. That fire dragon was merely an attack from the fire lotus, and it was enough to entangle with it for a moment. The combination of the fire dragon horse and the chaos great monarch flame made it feel a little troublesome. The lightning dragon let out a low roar, and a fierce light shone in its eyes. Its dragon body twisted, and along with the rolling thunder it rushed towards the fire lotus. Although its momentum was not as frightening as before, it was still extremely fierce. The moment the lightning dragon moved above the lotus heart of the fire lotus, the dragon eye-sized fire pearl that was condensed from endless flames was glittering with a brilliant light. The fire pearl was extremely exquisite. It was bright and red, but Xiao Yan could keenly sense the terrifying aura contained within the fire pearl. Immediately his heart was filled with joy, and his eyes began to fill with eagerness and anticipation. The fire pearl slowly rose from the heart of the lotus. Traces of cracks appeared in the space where it was located because it was unable to withstand the intense pressure. Numerous spatial ripples spread out like water ripples. It exuded a soul-stirring beauty. The lightning dragon's expression also changed. Its low cry contained endless fear. Its forward momentum also slowed down a lot. Its eyes looked at the crimson fire pearl in the sky in horror. It could sense a fatal aura from it. The fire lotus seemed to have suffered a great blow to its yuan qi. The lotus leaf formed by the flames collapsed inch by inch like a rain of fire. The fire pearl in the sky seemed to have received an order at this moment. With a flash of light, its speed soared and it shot towards the lightning dragon like a stream of light. Sensing the increasingly intense scent of death on the fire pearl, the lightning dragon let out a furious roar. The golden flames on its dragon body all rose into the sky, forming 100 feet thick golden barrier that tightly protected it. Once the barrier was formed, the golden light on the lightning dragon's body immediately dimmed. The bouncing golden lightning also disappeared without a trace. It was obvious that its source had suffered a great loss. Swoosh! In almost a blink of an eye, the fire pearl had arrived in front of the golden barrier. Several golden lightnings suddenly shot out from the golden barrier. The flames that burned the void were pouring down towards the fire pearl. The moment the golden thunderbolt struck the fire pearl, the latter suddenly erupted with a great intensity. The flames transformed into a primeval giant beast that roared as it faced the lightning that was coming at it. Both of them were quietly annihilated with a loud bang. The speed of the fire pearl did not weaken in the slightest. The golden barrier did not form any obstruction. The fire pearl shot forward in a manner that was as easy as crushing rotten wood. The golden barrier instantly collapsed inch by inch under the shocked eyes of the lightning dragon. It turned into a golden rain of fire that scattered down. When Xiao Yan saw this from afar, his face could not help but tremble slightly. The golden barrier that had been formed by expending half of the original source of 3,000 lightning monarch flames had actually been broken so easily. This powerful attack was truly shameful, but Xiao Yan could understand it. In the previous life, the Xiao Ao and the Thousand Leaves ancient monarch fire were born with the same fire. With the incredible power of the Thousand Leaves ancient monarch fire, even if the Xiao Ao was reincarnated, its source contained more or less some of the Thousand Leaves ancient monarch fire's qi. Now, with the help of the Chaos Great Monarch Flame, they could deal with the 3,000 lightning monarch flames that were ranked at the bottom. Although it was not a crushing defeat, there was no doubt that it had the upper hand. Being firmly locked onto by the terrifying aura of the fire pearl, no matter how hard the lightning dragon struggled, it was useless. Seeing the fire pearl easily break through the golden barrier he had set up with all his might and pierce through the void, a layer of unwillingness and despair surged into the lightning dragon's eyes. Then this despair suddenly turned into madness. He faced the sky and roared several times. The lightning dragon's body trembled. Its 3-kilometer-long body disappeared and was replaced by... It was a golden flame. Within the flame, the lightning threads quietly swam about, and the soft sound of thunder kept buzzing. This is the 3,000 lightning monarch flame. Looking at the true form of the lightning dragon and the golden flame, Xiao Yan's eyes were filled with endless heat. This was the 3,000 lightning monarch flames. On the monarch flame ranking, that were a few points stronger than the Chaos Great Monarch Flame. The 3,000 lightning monarch flames continuously swayed. Accompanied by the soft sound of thunder, the ripples on the flames surged wildly like ripples, forming a faint layer of flame armor. At the same time, a golden fire pearl the size of a dragon eye jumped out from the flame. There was a faint lightning arcs pulsating on it. The golden fire pearl transformed into a flowing light the moment it appeared and shot into the distance. At the same time the golden fire pearl left the 3,000 lightning monarch flames instantly became much dimmer. It was like a flickering flame in a fierce wind that was in imminent danger. That is, the source of the 3,000 lightning monarch flames. Xiao looked at the golden fire pearl that was shooting towards the distance, and his expression couldn't help but change. These 3,000 lightning monarch flames were really decisive. When they saw that the situation wasn't right, they actually abandoned their original bodies that they had painstakingly cultivated and fled. Seeing this, the Fire Lotus was not in a hurry to chase after them. After the fire beads suffered 3,000 lightning monarch flames, the Fire Lotus arrived in an instant and swallowed the 3,000 lightning monarch flames. Without the source of the fire, the 3,000 lightning monarch flames were swallowed by the Fire Lotus without any struggle. The 3,000 lightning monarch flames were quickly refined. In an instant, golden lines spread out from the scarlet-red lotus leaf of the Fire Lotus. The golden lines on the lotus leaf pulsated, and the scarlet-red flame gradually turned scarlet-golden. It looked extremely dazzling. After devouring the 3,000 lightning monarch flames, Xiaoyan's soul perception allowed the Chaos Great Monarch Flame's strength to soar. Although it had yet to devour the former's source and complete the final fusion, this massive increase in strength had already made Xiaoyan extremely happy. The golden-red Fire Lotus drew a beautiful arc as it rose into the sky. The lightning on the flame pulsated. All of a sudden, the heaven and earth began to shrink violently. Countless mountains in the distance turned into fiery light and shot into the Fire Lotus. In just a few breaths of time, the heaven and earth was only a few dozen feet in size, and the golden fire pearl that had escaped long ago was located within it. Xiaoyan couldn't help but smile. That's right. This heaven and earth was the world of fire origin of the Chaos Great Monarch Flame. The Chaos Great Monarch Flame was equivalent to the owner of this world. So how could the fire origin of the 3,000 lightning monarch flames escape, seeing the golden-red Fire Lotus restraining him in an instant? A furious dragon's roar was heard from the golden fire pearl. The longan-sized fire pearl was bouncing up and down, but it was still unable to break through this layer of heaven and earth. When he realized that all of this was useless, the lightning dragon within the fire pearl actually sent out a pleading message. Xiaoyan could not help but be stunned. The intelligence of these 3,000 lightning monarch flames was a little too high. They actually knew how to beg when they saw that the situation was not good enough. However, the Chaos Great Monarch Flame couldn't care about that much. Boundless scarlet golden flames pounced towards the golden lightning pearl, and with a furious and unwilling dragon roar, it swallowed the lightning pearl. Seeing that the Chaos Great Monarch Flame had finally swallowed the 3,000 lightning monarch flames, Xiaoyan's restless heart finally calmed down. His nervous nerves also relaxed a lot. When he relaxed, he immediately felt his soul force weaken and was forced to retreat. Xiaoyan opened his eyes, which had been closed for a long time. He shook his slightly dizzy head and saw Yi Tianchen staring at him strangely. "Did you succeed?" Seeing Xiaoyan nod and tell him everything that had happened, Yi Tianchen laughed and said, "No wonder. Your face had changed several times just now. Your face had even turned pale and you were drenched in cold sweat. So that's how it is." After hearing Yi Tianchen's words, Xiaoyan also smiled silently. However, in his heart, he was thinking about the Chaos Great Monarch Flame that he had successfully swallowed. "Kid, you have miscalculated. My soul strength is too weak. It's not enough for me to participate in the battle between monarch flames. If it wasn't for the Xiao, the Chaos Great Monarch Flame would have most likely died." Recalling the attack of the 3,000 lightning monarch flames on the chaos great monarch flames at the beginning, Xiaoyan couldn't help but pout. Yi Tianchen nodded slightly when he heard this. He looked at Xiaoyan and said with a smile, "The risk of the fighting monarch, of lower realm soul transforming into the soul of a great world, is very high. If you're not afraid, I can transform it for you." Putong. Xiaoyan's heartbeat instantly sped up. He had said so much just now, and this was exactly what he had been waiting for. Xiaoyan hurriedly smiled and said, "Thank you, Elder Yi." Yi Tianchen curled his lips and declined to comment. He thought for a moment and said, "I have seen countless alchemists when I was alive, but there are very few alchemists in the lower realm who have successfully transformed into alchemists. Therefore, I want to see how difficult the so-called ancient technique, the three-step soul transfer, is." At the end of his words, a strange smile appeared on Yi Tianchen's face. Xiaoyan was stunned after hearing this. It was reasonable to say that Yi Tianchen was a supreme alchemist when he was still alive. Not to mention traveling all over the 10 domains, he had definitely been to most places before. There should be countless alchemists that he had seen. But there were only a few fighting monarchies that could become alchemists in the lower realm. This caused Xiaoyan to find it hard to believe. There were countless Xiaoyans in the lower realms. Even if there was a special continent like the Fighting Qi continent, there should be quite a number of fighting monarchies that could be used to ascend every day. There were definitely fighting monarchies that could be used to cultivate both alchemy and martial arts. After so many years of accumulation, the number of these fighting monarchies should be a terrifying number. But there were very few that could really become an alchemist. This was enough to show how difficult the so-called three-step soul transfer was. While Xiaoyan was deep in thought, a crimson gold flame suddenly burst out from his body. The fire soared into the sky and swept away all the clouds in the sky. The giant trees nearby had yet to be touched by the flames before they started burning. The flames dyed half of the sky in a golden color, like the sunset glow. It was an extremely beautiful scene. Xiaoyan was startled. A trace of joy instantly surged onto his face as he said excitedly, "The fusion is successful." Yi Tianchen immediately said, "Quickly send your mind into your body and control the flames to circulate through the burning spell meridians." Xiaoyan nodded slightly and sat down with his eyes closed. His mind entered his body. After the golden flame swallowed the golden fire pearl, it became even more charming. Layers of golden ripples rippled on the flame, like flowing water, enchanting and beautiful. Xiaoyan controlled the flame with his mind. In his perception, currently the flame was still controlled by the Xiao Yi. This made Xiaoyan feel at ease. The Xiao Yi was no longer pink and chubby. It had golden skin. There was a tiny lightning mark on its forehead. It looked like a dragon. It raised its hand and raised its leg, and it was filled with a powerful force. Xiaoyan could feel it. At this moment, the Xiao Yi's strength had far exceeded his own. It was much stronger than his Xiao Ao. The Xiao Ao was already an 8-Dao sovereign master, and it was even more powerful than an emperor master. It was definitely at the monarch spirit. Thinking of this, even Xiaoyan felt a slight ripple in his heart. He let out a light breath and focused all of his attention on the circulation of the flame. He followed the path of the burning spell and completed a cycle in no time. Boom! After the flame had just completed one cycle of the burning spell, the golden light on the flame suddenly spread out. It pierced into Xiaoyan's meridians, bones, and cells like a sharp blade. Xiaoyan, who was unprepared, let out a low gasp. After that, his entire body broke out in cold sweat. The veins on his arms bulged, and his handsome face looked ferocious because of the pain. "What's going on?" Yi Tianchen was startled. Just as he was about to speak, he suddenly raised his eyebrows and looked at Xiaoyan. After feeling it for a moment, he suddenly smiled and put his hands behind his back. He once again returned to his indifferent look. "Kid, you didn't suffer this pain for nothing." As Yi Tianchen spoke, a sharp aura burst out from Xiaoyan's body and swept up into the sky. 6th Path Sovereign Warrior.